Hello everyone. We are now going to discuss the most common forms of eve teasing and also explain very simple yet effective ways of dealing with it and overpowering your attacker so that you may get the required help. Please note that it is very important that you practice all of these techniques multiple number of times till you are proficient in it. Here, Gopal is enacting the role of a supposed victim and Leon of an attacker. Hi Leon and Gopal. One of the most commonly faced form of eve teasing is a shoulder push. Someone will come and push you while you might be walking or standing alone, or you might be in a crowded place. Today, Leon and Gopal will demonstrate how we can easily avoid all of these situations and, if required, fight back as well. As discussed, Gopal is the supposed victim and Leon is the perpetrator. Situation 1. Say you're walking alone and there is some space for you to move around, and the perpetrator is walking with an intent to shoulder push you. What is it that you can do? If you observe carefully, all that Gopal did was to step aside from the path of attacker and he was able to avoid the shoulder push. Situation 2. You are in a crowded place with literally no space to move, say for instance in a bus, metro, train, some fare, etc. Now, how do you deal with the same situation? Let us see what Gopal and Leon do in this particular scenario. If you notice carefully, you will see that Gopal pushed back Leon's shoulder very firmly with both his hands. He used his body weight to push him back. Let us also look at other commonly forms of eve teasing faced by a lot of women. Holding someone's hand. These instances have been noticed a lot of times with jilted lovers or roadside eve teasers. We are demonstrating the steps which are applicable if somebody grabs your hand in a crowded place, and you can use these techniques and get the necessary help. What we've noticed is that the perpetrators typically grab the wrist of the victim, A, as it is smaller, and B, it can be gripped easily. Scenario number 1. The attacker grabs the victim's wrist with one hand. How do you escape this situation? Step 1. Rotate your hand and move your hand towards the opening. Step 2. Pull it towards the opening with all your strength. Scenario number 2. The attacker now grabs the victim's hand or wrist with both his hands. What can you do now? Step 1. Grab your right hand with your left hand or vice versa and make a very strong grip. Pull your hand with all your body weight and release it. What happens if someone grabs your hand in an isolated place? The steps demonstrated by Leon and Gopal now shall be explaining. Please note that we will be explaining these steps in greater details during our actual session and shall be practicing it with you so that you become perfect in it. Another form of eve teasing is bear hug. This again can be handled by using a few simple steps. Scenario 1. Someone grabs you from behind, below your ribcage, and your arms are free to move. If you see, Gopal managed to get out of the situation by just hitting Leon's hand very hard with his knuckles. It causes enough injury to the attacker and gives you enough time to escape. Scenario 2. The attacker grabs you from behind but over your arms and you can't hit him now. What is it that you can do? Let us look at the video. Scenario number 3. The attacker ensures that he restricts your movement by grabbing your arms and shoulder. What is it that you can do now? One of the most common forms of violence faced by women is grabbing them by hair. If you recall, very recently in the news, we had witnessed a similar incident of domestic violence by an MLA. How can you get out of this situation? If you see, Gopal has used his body weight to inflict injury to the attacker. More details shall be shared during the actual session, wherein we will not just be covering these steps, but many, many more other steps which will help you avoid and get out of an uncomfortable situation. Thank you.